You're watching GFT, Guam's local union.
The biggest problem that we have basically is dealing with the Dodea families. And that's basically like if a parent should complain about one of our bus drivers, they don't give us due process to find out what actually happened. Whatever they say goes without the due process. That needs to stop. I mean, instead of bringing a counsel and say, look, why are you going to terminate this guy because he said this something, then there's no due process involved. And I thought that being democratic, we're supposed to have you're innocent of proven guilty, but apparently it's just opposite here. The due process when we get accused of something that we did not do. Number two is we have no written standard operating procedures. Everything is verbal. Number three, our areas that we basically work in is totally unsafe, as far as I'm concerned. Number three, when we report something, or number four, when we report something, nothing seems to be done about it. They just blow it off because the mission comes first. Forget the safety of the children. Well, right now we're trying to correct the problems. Number one, by filing grievances. Apparently, it's just the process also takes long to do so. We're slowly winning here and there, but it's just the process that takes too long as far as trying to get things resolved right away. But that's understood. Okay, in our current contract now, we have it up till 2011, and within the 2011, we can negotiate within every 2 years, I believe, that we can negotiate our contract, or we can open it up and discuss any changes. So we don't get our next one is, I believe, in 2010, so we can go ahead and work the kinks out again. The reason why it is so important to have a collective bargaining agreement is, number one, is because right now the prevailing wage in Guam is low. They'll go by whatever Guam sets. If it's $8 an hour, it'll be $8 an hour regardless. Now, having a contract in place, we can raise our salaries up and the benefits up to better our lives too. They always compare ourselves to the United States. I am also a veteran, a Vietnam veteran. Now, my skills, I'm $8 an hour. It's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned, without my knowledge. But now, since the contract, I'm making close to $20 an hour now, pretty close to it. So it have its benefits. You pay a dues naturally, but without the dues, how else can we get something done? We pay that every day, whether you like it or not. But again, just like a team, without a basketball team, and if 4 or 5 people get out, you lose the game. So it's so important that everybody get together and work together so they can benefit both the company, whoever you're working for, and have a mutual understanding where you're going to say that. So there's no bickering on each other. So it's a win-win situation. That's how I feel. Well, I benefit from it. Number one is, first of all, the raise that we got, working conditions that we have. There's been raised already so far, as I'm not concerned. We got better working conditions now. We got brand new buses. We've got basically everything we asked for. We probably got that we asked for. Very simple stuff like as a matter of fact, like porta potties. We never had porta potties for 8 years in our area, and that's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. I can't even go use the bathroom half the time when I park my bus inside an enclosed area. So as simple as a porta potty was we negotiated, we got it. If you didn't fight for it, you never got it, because the private contractor will just deal with the minimum. That's to save money. To support the union as much as you can, because apparently our government cannot do everything that they need us to do. Okay, but like I said, support the union as much as you can. Help out if you need to, and encourage other people to join, because if you're not together, it'll never happen. You can cry all you want, nothing will happen.
Right now, most of the issues stem around pay for work, not exactly work performed, but if we have, for instance, a mandatory meeting to attend or mandatory class to attend, our hospital has what they call educational time or educational pay, and that's only straight pay. For instance, you might work 40 hours or more in a week, but then have to attend a mandatory meeting or a mandatory class. You will not get any overtime for that. Well, as far as working conditions, I love my job, so that's not an issue. The issue mostly is pay, especially when it relates to overtime. For instance, if you were to work a 40-hour week and then we had a typhoon and it was mandatory for you to come into the hospital and be there, you would be paid only 25% of your pay, not overtime. Also, if you had a mandatory class that you had to attend, they call it educational pay instead of overtime, and that's just straight time. And they also have another one for mandatory meetings, and they call that administrative. So there's a lot of overtime that's just not paid. I mean, overtime according to the federal government, and actually overtime according to GovGuam, and overtime according to the hospital's own rules and regulations, but they do not pay us. Well, in the past we've written grievances, which usually don't get very far. But right now the union, in conjunction with their attorney, is preparing to file for another lawsuit. As you know, in the past we've had a lawsuit for back pay. It took us 7 years to receive our back pay from the hospital. And it looks like it might take us another 7 years for this, but we're going to try. Well, generally speaking, it's rules to live by for both of us, the employer and the employee. And when the employee reads their contract, I hope they have read their contract, they know what's expected of them, and same way for the employer, because they expect us to come to work and we expect to be paid for that work. And if it doesn't work out that way, we go to our contract.
At the elementary school level, we have the reform programs right now being chosen by the different faculties at the different elementary schools. And there are, I think, 3 or 4 possibles. One is Success for All. The other is Direct Instruction, which has been in the schools for the last 5 years. We have PREL and the adopted text, which is Hoot and Mifflin. Well, that's the elementary level. At the high school level, most of our high schools are falling apart. We need to fix them, especially John F. Kennedy High School. It has been closed, and we really would like to go back home. Direct Instruction has been the program that we have had, and there was no teacher buy-in at the beginning. And there have been other issues, like teachers are spending a lot of their time doing the paperwork and so forth, and they don't get paid for the extra time that they're spending doing it. They have to stay after school sometimes for an hour, and they don't get paid for it. Whereas in the past we were paid. Without a collective bargaining agreement, we would have 30 to 40 students in every class. As it is, high school, the maximum is 28. Elementary, kindergarten maximum is 18. First through third maximum is 23. Fourth and fifth maximum is 25. I believe in middle school it is the same as high school, 28. And a teacher cannot teach with 40 students in the class. I would still as a teacher want to give a student individualized attention. I cannot do that if I have all the students in the classroom. Our working hours are set by our collective bargaining unit agreement. I tend to call it a contract. So with the grievance process, we have a way of appealing administrative decisions. If the administration does something that I feel is not right, then I can go in with a representative of my choice. They don't get to choose the representative, I do. I would say make sure that you have a copy of the collective bargaining agreement, and if you do not, please call your steward, or you can call me or call the office, and we will get one to you. Make sure that you know what's going on. You know what new policies there are. Like the district action plan is on the website, on the GPSS website, and it's very important. The collective bargaining agreement is also on both websites, GPSS and gftunion.com. It is very important that people go to the GFT